Okay, hey guys, this is Angus Black, and I am bringing you the second entry to the. No, actually, this is the third entry to the 101 day challenge. I was really busy today. Had to run around, pay bills, get some new equipment. I had to get a tripod, had to get some more light, really cheap though, and I had to also wish my father a happy birthday. So I didn't really get to shoot any new videos or anything, but I'm not feeling bad because yesterday I shot two videos. So it's me actually balancing out. Technically, I was going to say, well, I didn't have to shoot a video today because I shot two yesterday, but not being a cheater and trying to live up to Roberto Blake's 100 day challenge, because that's the whole point, is getting up off your butt every day and doing something towards your goal. So that's what I'm trying to do. So this is how we're trying to proceed. With this vlog, I guess I'll just talk about, some of the things that make me me and why I'm doing what I do. So growing up, I was always a nerd. My father bought me an encyclopedia set at a really young age, and it kept it in my room. So I was always getting up, looking up stuff, reading. And with that encyclopedia set came a kid set, which had like fables, American history, introduction to carpentry, how-to stuff. And there's about 12 smaller volumes of various stuff, but it's a lot of information. So I pretty much bounced around between those. I kept the lower volume just for my interest, but every time I found something that I didn't understand, I was always in the encyclopedia. So I always had a larger vocabulary and a bigger curiosity than most kids. I always liked science, but I was never really pushed towards science. I don't know, being a young black kid in the 70s, it's just, I don't know, I was always into all white schools. So growing up and then my father being in the military, I went overseas and had to go to the military schools. It's quite some diversity, but, I always excelled or had physical science as my main curiosity as a kid. I always watched PBS, Big Blue Marble, 321 Contact, Bloodhound Gang. All of those were like some really big influences on me growing up as a kid. The Big Blue Marble was also a really impressive show to me as a kid because it just showed me so much. And then being a military brat as a kid, traveling, I was exposed to more, so everything started falling into place. I joined the military, traveled the world, got out of the military. Now I'm in New York. I did the cooking thing, and I finally came to the realization that, that's something I like to do on the side. And if you're really curious about the cooking thing, you can look up this site here. This is my cooking site that I did from years back. I think it's like 10 years ago. I didn't get a lot of hits, but it's just me trying to get onto those like cooking shows like uh, Food Network, Iron Chef, or Chopped. But thankfully, I saw the light and bailed out of that. But I might go back to something of more like instructional cooking or cooking and music, something in that lines I can see doing. As you can see with my videos coming out now and in the future, I'm always going to start trying to bring more and more of my niche into it. And my niche is beatboxing. That's part of my Afro punk culture. It's like I'm trying to show you a part of black culture, because nowadays everything that you see in black culture nowadays is usually like either thug culture, like a lot of gay influence to it, and that's not really like black American culture. Hollywood stylization and monetization of themes. So I want to show more positive lights of how black culture, Afro punk, has ventured out into other cultures, out into science, out into entertainment. I've taken some film courses, I've taken some editing courses, so you can see. In my vlogs, it's just going to be straight, basically it's just going to be straight cuts, no special effects, very little text. If I have text, it's for something important, or if I'm trying to enhance a point. But other than that, it's just me talking to you 100% as I can, real, without all the glitz and the fluff and the hype and the ooh and ah. It's just like, this is just me, so that you can understand where I'm coming from. And hopefully It'll make you want to subscribe. Coming to my site to see the more stuff that I'm pumping out, like my videos, and also just engage in the conversation, because that's ultimately my main goal is to get more people together, get us talking about games. Hopefully we can get online and play. Hopefully, ultimately, once we get a group big enough, man, we can start like making like conventions or going to conventions and just taking over a hotel's what you call it, conference room, and either have a LAN party, gaming party, just a bunch of people on the same like mind, people of color, white, black, whatever. Just a neutral ground for gaming, fun, having a good time, and just, talking and, just talking about this thing that you love. Cartoons, animation, gaming, if you're into cosplay, fine, we'll talk about it. If Marvel versus DC, fine, we'll talk about that. Anime versus cartoons, fine, we can talk about that. But it's all about people just having a good time, people getting together, people communicating and like just networking here to, build something better. Now, I do have a Facebook group that is OG Geek. It's private, so you have to send a request and then we'll let you in, just to keep from advertisers trying to come in and start spamming the site. Like, let me see, what am I watching right now? Anime wise, I am watching Boruto because I'm a big Naruto fan, but the series has been up and down. They've had a great one with the whole Sarada meeting, I can't think of his name right now, Sasuke. But like, I'm waiting for it to get, it looks like it's going into a darker area and things are going to step up, but like, yeah, I missed the Chonin exam, so like let's like bump it up. I want some action. Let's see some ninjutsu. Let's see the reconnaissance. Let's get dark with what else am I watching that I'm really into? I just finished Drifters. I thought that was an insanely deep anime. It was dark, but it was also about growth as a character and understanding others. And even though they can't speak at times, they were still willing to get the point across to one another about coming together as a unit and protecting yourselves and standing up against an oppressive force or whatever. But Drifters is one I highly recommend. I'm planning on doing something new, which is going to be like an anime 401, where this will be like 3-minute clip of me talking about a new anime that I may have seen or something that has impressed me due to story, animation, or theme. And it's just going to be basically saying, hey, this is the who, what, when, and what, where, and why of this anime. Here's some nice little shots of the animation without giving anything away with the plot, just to get you salivating from. My uncle was an art teacher, so I'm a really big proponent for art, and I'm really impressed with what people can do with animation. Growing up as a kid in Florida, I grew up near Disneyland, and so the cartoons was always something I was connected with growing up. My father would get us a Disney Channel. My uncle was an art teacher, and when my father would deploy, I was always under my uncle, so he was my father figure. You follow your father. So when my father wasn't there, I followed my uncle, and I was trying to learn to draw, and I always wanted to get into animation, but I just didn't have the patience to sit down like that. Now, maybe I could, who knows. When I first saw animation, I didn't know what it was. The first animation I can probably remember seeing and understanding and knowing that it was different from Japanese anime and not a cartoon would probably be Nausicaa of the Sky, or Nausicaa of the Wind, Valley of the Wind. It's about the bugs and the glider and the girl and the little fox spirit thing, creature. Fast forward to me, my first day in tech school after basic training, and Fist of the North Star, the movie, it was playing in the day room, and I'm just like, yo, what is this? And someone was like, oh, this is Fist of the North Star, and I'm like, never heard of it, and it blew me away with that violence. Yeah, that's my little history with anime. I started collecting anime in about 1995 after I got at my first base, which was Minot, North Dakota. I was in the Air Force. I was cooking at a missile base. Life sucked. We made the best of it. I did a year there, and then I went overseas to Japan, which was crazy, and that's when I got into the gaming thing deep. I was always a gamer though. My first gaming system was the PlayStation. No, was the Nintendo. Then I joined the military. I got a Super Nintendo. Bought my baby sister a Super Nintendo with the Lion King cartridge. Man, that was a hard game that nobody knew about. Yeah, so I had the Super Nintendo, PlayStation. Yep, had the PlayStation. Had the Japanese PlayStation. PlayStation 2, Japanese PlayStation, had the chipped PlayStation, had the chipped Japanese PlayStation, and the Dreamcast. You know, still a heavy gamer. Now I'm into the PC, trying to get into PC, but it's hard because the games are just trickling out from console. Everything is exclusive for console, which sucks because, you know, you have to sit and wait. And then, like, now you're seeing the trend of games that are coming out and they're not performing to their potential on a PC. Like the last Batman game. And now, like, it doesn't make sense when games that are especially coming out from Microsoft aren't working right when Microsoft is from, you know, Windows. You know, they're you know, Microsoft started with computers and then they made the Xbox 360. So getting something to convert for a computer should be a no-brainer or very easy. You know, the Windows update is killing PC gaming performance, especially if you're streaming. And it's just a lot of people are wondering, like, yo, what is the reasoning behind this? Is this really implied? Is this something that's being set up? Back to the point of like who I am. So that was basically like me and my hobbies. You know, I have my background with movies. I'm shooting. Right now, I shoot off my cell phone, which is Galaxy Note 3. I bought some equipment to go with that, and my next vlog is going to straight up be about filming off of your camera phone, equipment that you can use, cheap equipment that you can use to make films with your camera phone. And basically everything that I'm going to be mentioning is going to be under the price of pretty much $30. Just read this article and I'll probably be linking it in the bottom here. It is going to be talking about how you should not talk about your goals. Because when you talk about your goals, you subconsciously actualize it and you don't put as much energy as you would because you think, oh, well, I'm halfway there because I'm already telling people and they know. If you keep it to yourself, you're working harder with it and you actually follow through. So please get on board with us and stay on board with OG Geek. This is Angus Black doing the 100-Day Challenge by Roberto Blake, day 3.